new skills, aspirations, and a customizable system, we're getting more details about Sims 4 Adventure awaits. Yet these new details do reveal some activities are rather limited, and there are a few surprises. Now, I was at the dentist for the first time in several years. Don't be like me, even if you are very anxious about the dentist. Needless to say, it was not a very pleasant day, but this is why I missed this, so I am catching up. So the Sims 4 team has started a Q&A about gameplay details for the upcoming Adventure Awaits expansion pack, but it's all on Discord. And honestly, I do wonder and worry if these Q&As are going to replace a live stream. They did do a Q&A or two about Enchanted by Nature, and we also didn't get a live stream then. And while I do understand, of course there is early access, but I still think there should be a stream. I will say right away, there are definitely some pros and cons as always, but I would like to know your personal opinions in the comments below. So the question is, what is the new world of Gibby Point going to actually be like? Well, the Adventure Awaits expansion pack introduces Gibby Point, a world full of adventure and free new neighborhoods. As I expressed in my past video, this is pretty typical at this point for an expansion pack. This includes Wanderwood Wilds, Crystal Valley, and Jellyfish Junction. Explore unique townies, quests, in a glowing bay. Visit festivals, swim in jellyfish lagoons, or spot the mysterious plumbird. Each neighborhood offers exciting getaways, Camp Gibby Gibby, Revive and Thrive, and Love Highland. Now, I do like that there are aspects to explore in every single district. I think that is important. As I expressed before, I don't mind festivals whatsoever. I just feel like expansion packs at this point are pretty much a formula. We get some form of quests or festivals. We get about 3 different districts and then something to explore in each. But as I said before, I could see it stifling creativity, and I just would like them to do something a bit more adventurous. That said, it does sound like there's going to be a little bit of lore to explore with the plumbird. I also like the idea of swimming with jellyfish. I'm interested to see this. I bet there's going to be a new way to die here. All in all, some interesting ideas, but again, I wouldn't say this is really specific to this expansion pack. So the question remains, what actually is specific to this expansion pack? Well, one of the new things they're excited about is the coming of age experience in childhood development. This includes things like diving and archery skills and playing rock, paper, and scissors and hide and seek. Again, these are nice additions, something I actually would have expected with something like Sims 4 Growing Together. It definitely does build up your child and gives them more to do, which I think is needed in Sims 4. Of course, there's also imaginary friends. And most of this information is not new to you if you watch the trailer. Don't worry, we're gonna get some more interesting details beyond the trailer in just a few moments. Of course, we also get the modular playgrounds, which I think look fantastic, and they also talk about making meaningful and impactful child Sims lives. Now, I will say the last part about making it more meaningful, that is just left to be seen. This is one of those things you have to see in action. But regardless, I do like the look of the playground, I'm not gonna lie, and of course I like more activities for children's Sims. If you never play with that live stage, I can understand why you're not too keen on this part. With that out of the way, let's talk about some newer details you may not know about, and that starts with traits and aspirations. The new trait for this expansion pack is competitive. Competitive Sims get a thrill out of challenges and competition. Depending on their level, Sims can be a good sport or go down the path of being a bad sport with unsportsmanlike behavior. Now, one aspect I like about this is they are adding some dimension. I have noticed in the past couple packs at least adding a possibility of a path that is not all sunshine and rainbows. That said, of course, we'll have to wait and see actually how useful this is. I'm not sure how competitive is going to play out in everyday life. Also get some new aspirations. There is a child-specific aspiration, Cool Kid on the Block. This aspiration encourages child Sims to be the coolest kid in the neighborhood by completing a list of tasks and ranging from having the best collectibles to playing and winning games. There's also the Critter Hunter aspiration, which is actually for adult Sims. Basically, the Sims collect, examine, and enthuse about outdoor critters. They can also use the butterfly collection and paper crafts to complete tasks for the aspiration. We also, of course, have a few new skills. The new skills include archery, paper crafting, and entomology. Archery, Sims can hone the archery skill by using a new archery bow and target objects. Paper crafting, you can make paper airplanes, themed cards, and you can also tell fortunes as their skill progresses. And the last skill is related to butterflies. As butterflies flutter around Gibby Point, Sims can catch the butterflies with a net, hold them in a new terrarium, and raise them in an incubator. later. Now, this is pretty interesting. I love the idea of being able to catch and raise butterflies. This is an activity I did when I was in middle school. Let me know in the comments below if you experienced that. But yes, I think that's a great new activity. And all in all, one aspect I really do like about this pack is it seems we're focusing more on activities. Overall, a lot of Sims 4 packs I feel like don't bring enough gameplay items and activities, and maybe they'd listen to that feedback. And the final skill, we also get diving as a skill. When diving boards are placed near pools, Sims can practice the diving skill from children through elders and pick up new tricks along the way. Great addition, will be helpful for pretty much any gameplay and in any world. Unfortunately or fortunately, there are no new fears. Honestly, I like the idea of having fears in The Sims 4, but personally, I feel they can be incredibly annoying and just need a little bit of refinement. If they did go ahead and refine fears and make them better, which we can talk about in a different video, I would be more on this point, but here I don't really personally care if we get new fears. Now, with all that said, I do need to talk about the skills and some of the limitations. One of those limitations is butterflies and mobs. Where can you find butterflies specifically? So butterflies can be found around Gibby Point specifically, and also mobs at night. There are 14 unique species to collect, including a special butterfly unlocked by finishing the collection. You can also raise butterflies, as we already discussed. Now, there already is discourse about this being locked to one world. Personally, I don't really see it that way. Ideally, there would be butterflies to collect anywhere, but they probably just didn't bother to add butterflies to other worlds. So I feel like this is less a problem about them locking it to a world, and more simply put, they haven't added it. The good news is, children from elders can do archery and kayaking. It's great to see children actually have activities to do, especially kayaking. Unfortunately, kayaks are just one sim per kayak, no two-person kayaks, which I assumed after I saw the trailer, and while this is a little disappointing, it's not really a deal breaker for me personally. And as I assume you probably already know, there are of course new fitness animations. These come with doing arm curls, teaching a pump it up class, and hiring a pump it up instructor. In addition, we also get spin bikes, which I think is a great addition, and of course the blender object. Now I know some people think the fitness stuff is really random, I understand, but I do see how it fits the theme overall. I would like to critique this more after I learn more about the pack and just see how it all comes together, but it does make sense for the retreat side of things. Of course, I do understand why people are frustrated. This feels like it should have been in the fitness stuff pack, for example, but again, these are complex issues and I want to discuss this because I have a lot of thoughts. I just want to collect them. Last but not least, let's also talk about getaways. So getaways are customizable experiences for Sims seeking a new thrill, complete relaxation, and everything in between. To create a getaway, you select a location or create a custom venue for the occasion. Getaways can be scheduled for any length of time, but they can also be reoccurring with a set schedule. Select the number of Sims attending, max of 8, and then assign roles for each of the Sims. You can add criterias and also role activities, as well as role outfits. Now, again, I don't think this is bad on the surface. I understand the customization. It does honestly remind me of a couple systems in Sims 4, and I really hope it works decently. I'm not gonna lie, it reminds me a little bit of My Wedding Disasters. However, I don't think it's gonna be as buggy as that, or at least fingers crossed. I understand the appeal of this. For some people, this is gonna be great. I understand that customization is also great. But as I said before, I just want to see Sims 4 do things in a different way. Because while I'm personally very interested in the gameplay items, I'm less certain about the getaways. I feel like the getaways are the main selling point of this pack. In addition, custom venues are a new venue type that goes beyond the standard venues. And that's because it allows players to set roles and assign roles for their venues. All in all, this is interesting. It really reads more like a blog post than a true Q&A. I feel like some of this has potential. I feel like the skills especially are interesting, and I also love that children are able to do so many things. That said, even though I am excited about some aspects, I definitely have misgivings over the main system in this pack, but I just need to learn more before I fully judge. As always, thanks so much for watching, take care, let me know what you think about all this in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.